Have you ever stared at your phone wondering why he hasn't texted? Have you ever questioned your worth just because someone went silent for a day? Listen carefully. If he can go a day without talking to you, don't panic. Don't chase. Don't beg for attention. Because the moment you stop reacting emotionally is the moment your power returns. Sometimes distance is not rejection. It's a test of your confidence, your self-respect, and your emotional strength. Here are 6 powerful things you must do if he pulls away, and watch how your energy shifts everything. The moment someone starts pulling away, most people react emotionally. They start overthinking every message, checking their phone every few minutes, and wondering what they did wrong. But the biggest mistake you can make is chasing someone who is already creating distance. When you constantly text first, double message, or demand attention, you unknowingly lower your value in their eyes. People naturally appreciate what feels rare, calm, and confident, not what feels desperate or fearful of being abandoned. When a man sees that you are always available, no matter how little effort he gives, he becomes comfortable doing the bare minimum. That is why stepping back is powerful. Silence is uncomfortable at first, but it reveals the truth about any connection. If someone genuinely cares, they will notice your absence. They will wonder why your energy changed. They will begin thinking about you because your attention is no longer being handed to them freely. Chasing also drains your emotional peace. It places your happiness in someone else's hands and creates anxiety every single time they delay a reply. But when you stop chasing, you regain control over your emotions. You stop reacting from fear and start operating from confidence. That energy shift changes everything. Confident people understand that affection should be mutual, not forced. Instead of trying harder for someone's attention, invest that energy into yourself. Focus on becoming emotionally strong, mentally calm, and secure within your own life. The less you beg for validation, the more attractive your presence becomes. People are drawn toward those who respect themselves enough to walk away from one-sided effort. Sometimes the strongest message you can send is no message at all. One of the most powerful things you can do when someone stops giving you attention is to redirect your focus back to your own life. Too many people make the mistake of placing their entire emotional world around one person. They stop prioritizing themselves, ignore their goals, and wait all day for a text message that may never come. The problem with this mindset is that it slowly destroys your confidence and makes your happiness dependent on someone else's behavior. Real confidence comes from having a life that excites you beyond relationships. When you start focusing on your personal growth, everything about your energy changes. Spend time improving yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, and financially. Go to the gym, read books, learn new skills, work on your goals, and reconnect with the things that once made you feel alive. The more fulfilled you become within yourself, the less desperate you feel for constant attention from others. People are naturally attracted to individuals who have purpose and self-respect. When someone sees that you are busy building your life instead of obsessing over them, they begin to view you differently. Your independence becomes attractive because it shows strength, maturity, and emotional stability. Nobody wants to feel like they are someone's entire source of happiness. Healthy attraction grows when two complete people choose each other, not when one person depends entirely on the other for emotional validation. Focusing on yourself also protects your peace. Instead of spending hours overthinking why someone has not replied, you begin investing your time into things that genuinely improve your future. You stop chasing temporary attention and start building lasting confidence. Ironically, when you become deeply focused on your own growth, people often notice your absence more. Your energy feels different because you are no longer waiting to be chosen. You are choosing yourself first. Emotional control is one of the rarest forms of strength in today's world. Most people react instantly when they feel ignored, rejected, or emotionally uncertain. They allow temporary emotions to control their actions. And in doing so, they often push people even further away. The ability to remain calm when someone pulls back is what separates emotional maturity from emotional dependence. When a man goes quiet, Your first instinct may be to panic, overthink, or demand reassurance, but reacting emotionally only shows fear of losing him, and fear weakens your confidence. Silence does not always mean rejection. Sometimes people need space, time, or emotional distance to process their own thoughts. But when you immediately react with anger, sadness, or desperation, you create pressure instead of attraction. Calm energy is far more powerful than emotional chaos. A person who can control their emotions appears secure, confident, and mentally strong. That kind of energy naturally earns respect. Learning emotional control also protects your mental peace. Overthinking every delayed reply drains your energy and destroys your focus. You begin creating painful stories in your mind that may not even be true. But when you learn to pause instead of react, you stop giving temporary situations permanent emotional power over your life. You become more grounded and less controlled by outside validation. Strong people understand that not every emotion deserves a reaction. Sometimes the best response is patience, silence, and self-control. The less reactive you become, the more attractive your presence feels because confidence is quiet. It does not beg, panic, or constantly seek reassurance. When someone realizes that their temporary distance cannot shake your peace, they start seeing you differently. Your calmness becomes magnetic because emotionally stable people are rare. In a world full of emotional reactions, self-control stands out. The person who masters their emotions will always have more power than the person controlled by them. One of the biggest mistakes people make in relationships is being too available all the time. When someone knows they can disappear, ignore messages, and still come back to find you waiting exactly where they left you, they stop feeling the importance of your presence. Human nature often values what feels limited, meaningful, and capable of being lost. That is why creating space can sometimes be more powerful than constantly trying to hold on. When you allow someone to feel your absence, you give them the opportunity to recognize your value on their own. Constant communication can make your presence predictable, and predictability often reduces curiosity. But when your energy suddenly shifts and you stop chasing attention, people naturally begin to notice the difference. They start wondering what changed, what you are doing, and why you are no longer focused entirely on them. That curiosity creates emotional impact. Stepping back is not about playing games or manipulating someone. It is about respecting yourself enough to stop forcing connection. If someone truly values you, your absence will affect them. They will miss your conversations, your energy, and the attention you once gave freely. Distance has a strange way of revealing emotions. People ignore when they become too comfortable. Giving space also helps you emotionally detach from unhealthy dependence. Instead of constantly waiting for a text or overthinking someone's behavior, you begin reconnecting with yourself. You remember that your life should never pause because someone else became distant. The more comfortable you become with your own company, the less power silence has over you. Sometimes your absence speaks louder than words ever could. It communicates self-respect, emotional strength, and confidence. People often realize the true value of someone only after they no longer have easy access to them. When you stop making yourself constantly available, you remind others that your presence is a privilege, not something they should automatically expect every single day. One of the most important things you can do when someone becomes distant is raise your standards and stop accepting behavior that drains your self-worth. Too many people settle for inconsistency because they fear losing someone. They tolerate delayed replies, mixed signals, lack of effort, and emotional confusion just to keep a connection alive. But the truth is, accepting the bare minimum teaches people that they do not need to do more to keep you in their life. Standards are not about acting arrogant or expecting perfection. They are about understanding what you deserve emotionally. You deserve respect, communication, honesty, effort, and consistency. When someone truly values you, they do not leave you constantly questioning where you stand. Real interest creates clarity, not confusion. A person who genuinely cares will naturally make time, show effort, and maintain connection without needing endless reminders. Lowering your standards for attention may give temporary comfort, but it slowly damages your confidence over time. You begin accepting situations that make you anxious, insecure, and emotionally exhausted. The more you ignore your own needs just to keep someone around, the more you lose yourself in the process. Self-respect means recognizing when someone's actions no longer match the energy you are giving. Raising your standards changes your entire mindset. Instead of chasing people who are uncertain about you, you begin choosing relationships that bring peace, trust, and emotional security. You stop begging for consistency because you understand that genuine effort should come naturally. This shift makes you more attractive because confident people do not settle for one-sided connections. The moment you truly value yourself, your energy changes. You become less afraid of losing people because you know your worth does not depend on anyone's attention. Ironically, when people realize they can no longer give you half-hearted effort while still keeping access to you, they often start trying harder. Standards create respect, and self-respect always increases your value in the eyes of others. The most powerful thing you can do when someone pulls away is become the best version of yourself. Instead of wasting your energy trying to force someone to notice your worth, focus on building a life that naturally reflects it. Growth changes everything. When you start improving yourself mentally, emotionally, physically, and financially, your confidence begins to come from within instead of depending on outside validation. Too many people make the mistake of trying to become more lovable for someone else while forgetting to become better for themselves. Real transformation happens when your motivation is self-respect, not revenge or attention. Improve your mindset, take care of your health, develop new skills, chase your goals, and create a future you are proud of. Every step you take toward becoming stronger increases your self-worth and emotional independence. People are naturally drawn to those who radiate confidence and purpose. When someone sees you growing, glowing, and succeeding without needing constant reassurance from them, they begin to view you differently. Your energy feels attractive because it no longer carries desperation or emotional dependence. Instead of seeking validation, you begin embodying value through the way you live your life. Becoming your best self also changes how you handle relationships. You stop tolerating behavior that once hurt you because your standards become higher. You no longer chase people who are unsure about you because you understand your time and energy are valuable. Confidence built through personal growth creates emotional stability, and emotionally stable people naturally stand out. The beautiful part about self-improvement is that you win no matter what happens next. Whether that person reaches out or not, you still become stronger, wiser, and happier in the process. Your focus shifts from trying to be chosen to becoming someone who chooses themselves first. And often, when someone sees that they no longer control your happiness, they begin realizing the value they almost lost. The strongest glow-up always begins the moment you stop chasing and start evolving. The ultimate revenge is not making someone jealous. It's becoming happier, stronger, wiser, and more successful without needing their validation. Glow differently. Think differently. Carry yourself with confidence. Because when someone sees you thriving without them, they naturally become curious about you again. And whether he reaches out or not, you still win. Final message. Never lose yourself trying to keep someone interested. The right person will never require you to abandon your self-respect for their attention. Remember this. When you stop chasing validation, you become unforgettable. And that energy, that confidence, that self-worth, that is what truly makes someone reach out.